Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video and welcome to something a little bit different. Yesterday we are playing MotoGP 24. Yes, we're back on motorbikes. For any of you that have seen me race on motorbikes before on this channel, you'll know I'm not particularly good at racing with them. But yeah, MotoGP Milestone Italy reached out to me a couple of weeks ago and they were like, Matt, would you like to suck on motorbikes for yet another year? And I responded with, yes, I would. So a massive thank you to them for sending me out a copy of the game to play. Of course, I've actually done a bit of these games before in the past. MotoGP is always one of those series that I really do need to actually just sit down and watch a whole lot more of. The racing is frantic and exciting, and hopefully we are going to have some good fun with it. And one of the best things, at least in previous years, of the MotoGP game is also the fact that you can actually start right at the bottom rung and work your way up, something that desperately is needed on the Formula 1 games as well. Now, what I'm planning on doing, of course, this first video is going to go out on my main channel, but we are also going to be uploading it onto Matt212 Plays as well. If I do a little bit more of this series, then all of those videos are going to be going up over there. So if you are new, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subbed to that channel as well, of course, if you're watching here on the main channel. But yeah, I feel like my best way of doing things is going to be start right at the bottom. I believe it's in Moto 3, and then obviously trying to move our way up to MotoGP to potentially become a champion there. So yeah, there we go. We can play the last races of the Moto 3 season and demonstrate your worth and win a saddle in MotoGP. At the end of the debut season, you can decide whether to continue your career or start a new one in the category of your choice. Now, apparently that's the only option that I've got. We've got to try and define our career and then earn some status and reputation and all of that good stuff. So there's also a market window. That's pretty cool. So you can express your World Championship motorbike and team preferences, but remember, you will have to convince them on and off the track that you are the right choice for their ambitions. And of course, you always want to be getting better. I did a few laps, obviously, just to make sure that everything was working as it should be. I can confirm I absolutely suck on this game at the moment, so it's going to take a little bit of, a bit of trial and error, things like that. But obviously, the Moto 3 bike should be a bit easier to try and obviously learn as well. Of course, these videos aren't going to be as long as like my normal F1 videos. I don't think MotoGP races are that long either, are they? So, yeah, we've got to try and prove ourselves and rise the ranks from Moto 3 all the way up to MotoGP there. So, looks like our very first race is going to be from the Chang International Circuit, which I believe is in Thailand. So yeah, let's see what we can do. We've got a rivalry with S. Nepa in these races. Might rock the balance in the driver's market.
From Buriram in northeastern Thailand, where in just a few moments we'll start our live coverage of the race weekend. Just a few more moments and we'll be live with the free practice. It's the last chance for Moto 3 riders to review their bike setups and assess the track conditions. It's been raining continuously for several hours at the circuit and the asphalt conditions are not the best, but we're confident that the riders will give us a good show out on track.
Well, I don't know whether this is going to be the same for absolutely everybody, but yeah, my first ever laps then here on our Moto 3 bike are going to be in some horrible, horrible conditions. So, yeah, as we make our way out onto the circuit, of course, there's quite a few other little things you've got to remember in MotoGP as well. So I know, for example, that you've got like the long lap and things like that if you get a penalty and that kind of thing as well. Now, I'm running some assists as well, just obviously as we try and get used to the game. So, yeah, we're going to see as to how that's going to affect things as well. But yeah, this is a very, very damp circuit at the moment. You can see the spray being kicked up as I've got to try and remember, obviously, unlike a Formula 1 car, it's just got a huge amount of grip and straight line speed. Motorbikes are alarmingly fast in a straight line, like quicker than Formula 1 cars in a straight line. They're terrible. They're absolutely terrible through the corners. They're better than they were, it must be said. A few years ago, they were even, far worse than they are nowadays. Obviously, it's kind of been the whole big thing in recent years. It's been about the aero wars in MotoGP, but they've still got nothing like a Formula 1 car through the corners, and I can do that quite easily. we're going to fall off a lot, I can't help but feel, in the first few videos, as we'll go off again. Not great. I'm going to end up with quite a few broken limbs, I feel like, so it is all about just trying to be smooth, is trying to find kind of where that limit is and not overstepping it. But you also need to be very, very smooth with your controls as well. You know, you got to brake and then get the bike rotated, and then obviously get on the throttle on the exit. If you can do that kind of all in one smooth motion, you're going to have a better time of things. So that's going to be quite the learning curve for us. I believe as well, MotoGP, the games over the last couple of years have become a lot more difficult as well, a lot more dynamic. So that doesn't bode well for myself either. One thing I must admit is very, very cool is you can actually go back to the team and say what's wrong with the setup, and they can try and actually tweak things around for you. So that's exactly what I've done, and the bike is immediately just feeling a little bit more stable. I guess kind of my big problem is I'm trying to get on the throttle too early. I've proven it exactly there. So yeah, what I'm doing, of course, is the bike's still lent in a lot, and I'm trying to get on the throttle. And of course, the rear end's just snapping around on me, and there's nothing we can do about it. So it is, I mean, it's such a different, you know, driving and riding experience. Obviously, what I'm used to in a car, you know, where obviously in most modern race cars, you want to try and kind of allow the rear end to slide a little bit on corner exit, obviously to try and, you know, rotate the car around and get back on the throttle. I'm still also just struggling generally with trying to brake too late and lean into a corner as well. It's a lot more kind of point and shoot, and also just being patient as well. I have no idea what the AI is set to, so we might, if we get one lap hooked up, we might still be way clear of the rest. I'm definitely starting to get my eye in and kind of looking at what the bike's doing to kind of try and help me out with how to drive this thing. Or, sorry, ride this thing. I'm very, very used to car talk, so I apologise to any motorbike loyalists out there, that I will probably get some lingo muddled up over the course of this. Yeah, this lap I have fallen back off again, though, but I reckon we're ready for qualifying here. What I have learned, more importantly than anything else, is brake early rather than late. So again, one of the other things I quite like in MotoGP is actually the format from free practice and qualifying. I believe if you're within the top 10, it might be 15, in free practice times, you immediately go through into the final qualifying session. If you're, well, bottom 12, then you have to go through Q1. The top 4 from Q1 then also have the chance to fight in Q2. So it's a very, very different format to Formula 1, and of course encourages people to set some quick lap times in free practice. Top times so far have kind of been down in the low 58s, but we want to try and get out of Q1 here and maybe see ourselves into Q2, as these two in front of me having a bit of a slipstream battle, but we've definitely got the speed. Brake early down at the first proper, well, this is one of the biggest braking zones of the entire lap. Tip it in nicely, don't let the bike wobble around, and then just as you straighten up, get back on the throttle. Or do it a lot earlier like he did, and this guy. I don't know names, especially in the lower categories, so I'll try my best. But you guys are going to have to educate me on that one, as this corner. Gotta brake super early, tip the bike in. No throttle, no brake, anything like that. The curbs also are very, very scary, as you would expect, as that was way too brave through there. I mean, maybe if you're good on these games, or good IRL, that you can really kind of try and wring the neck out of these bikes and kind of override them. I certainly don't feel like I'm in a position to do that at the moment. I really do feel like I'm having to be very patient with it there, as someone tried to clatter into me through the final corner. First lap's going to be a decent benchmark, actually, at 2 minute 0.4. So we're getting quicker. And immediately forgetting what I need to do on the brakes. Can we get it stopped? Yes, we can. And on the throttle nicely there. That was brave. So doing this on an Xbox controller. I don't know if there's like a controller to play this game on. Whether, you know, like whether it's PlayStation's better or something like that. So someone please tell me down in the comments below. I can even do it on a... Actually, I don't think I could, but I have a PS3 controller, if that was going to be the way to go as well. So all options are greatly appreciated. Honestly, just from a little bit of riding so far, I reckon a Wii remote is probably the best way to go about things. I didn't realise you've actually got a live delta as well. Probably actually just above where I positioned my webcam. So look above me if I've edited this correctly. And you'll be able to see the live delta as to how we're stacking up at the moment. We are up. No, we're not. Oh, no. Someone has gone 2 seconds quicker than me. They're down into the mid-50... Well, sorry, 58 flat even, I should say. What is that? You're a madman. Come on, out the final corner, though. We're going to find a bit more time. Up towards the line. We go sub 2 minutes. That's good enough immediately for P2, and then instantly we're going to get relegated again. I'm not sure we're going to have enough to make it into Q2, and I've fallen off. One more corner to go. Come on, get it dialed in. We're up by about a second, 1.4 seconds, as we make our way through the final corner, and that's a 1:58.2, and that puts us right on the cusp then of making our way into Q2. Come on, we can snooker this away from some of the other riders. It's a horrible line on the exit of T1. I couldn't tell you how accurate this track is on this game, but I must admit, I think Chang's actually a pretty good track. First time I've ever driven it, or sorry, ever ridden it even, I guess I should say. Don't think I've ever done it on any other games in the past, but yeah, we're almost at the end of the session and we have just been pipped by Alm something. Don't quite know their name, sorry. So this is going to be our last chance then to try and make it through into Q2. Otherwise, this is going to be an agonising loss right at the bitter end. Come on, brake nice and late into 1. Lean the bike in. And then try and get on that throttle. It is odd. You can kind of get it to kick out and then grip up on the exit of the corner. That time around, we lost a bit of time, though, in the process. Our first couple of sectors here on my best lap were really, really good, actually. At least by my standards. So trying to find much more is going to be very, very difficult there. Is get off the brakes, lean the bike in, and try and just tickle the throttle on the exit. You can see that half a second back. We just cannot find anything else.
The first Moto3 class qualifying session comes to a close. Let's see the results and the names of the 4 riders who've qualified for Q2, which will start in a few minutes.
Well, that is absolutely heartbreaking then, right at the end there. Fell off my bike on our final run as well. But it is Angel Piqueras, Adrian Fernandez, Luca Lanetta, and David Almanza who will make it through then into Q2. Agonisingly close, only a 10.5 away for us. But yeah, we are going to be lining up towards the rear of the field. I believe we need a top 15 in the race if we want to try and help support the team.
Good morning from Gavin Emmett at the Chang International Circuit. We are just on the outskirts of the city of Buriram and ready to bring you the Thai Grand Prix. Just a few more moments and we'll switch to the starting straight for the Moto3 class race. We're moving to the live feed on the starting grid where everything is now ready for the start of the race. The sky is cloudy, but the weather will hold up throughout the race. The circuit should remain dry. The temperature will help consumption levels, with many riders discarding soft tyres and opting for medium tyres on both the front and rear instead.
Here we go then, having a look at what we need to do. So we need to try and beat S Nepa, and we've got to try and finish in the top 15 today. So that's going to be the goal. We lined up 19th out of 26. We actually didn't do too badly at the end of qualifying either there. We're going to opt to listen to the commentator and stay with the medium tyres then.
On the starting grid, the countdown begins for the lights to go out. Just a few moments more and the Thai Grand Prix will begin.
It feels like a very, very packed grid here where they start 3 wide. But let's see what we can do. We're on the outside for turn 1. I've got no idea what the start procedure is, so we're just going to try and match the foot to the floor. It's going to be lights out and away we go then. Not a particularly good start. Please tell me down in the comments below how I do better in that regard. But nice and easy through turn 1. My first dry running ever in these Moto3 machines. We've got a huge run down the outside of absolutely everybody. Okay, thank you very much. And there we go. We are up then into P6 of the start of this race. I guess that's a good thing about motorbikes is that, well, yeah, if you can find a gap, you can normally fit through it. That was aggressive into that. But just trying to be very, very careful to make sure I don't fall off. Good start, though. Like I said, it is an 8-lap race ahead of us. We've got ourselves ahead of Nepa as well. So I don't know if there's some points awarded for qualifying or anything like that. But say he is down in 7th place then. So I would hope that we would actually score a few more over him. Yeah, got to try and make sure I'm actually getting better at keeping the bike between the white lines as well. I feel like, you know, the stewards and people might show mercy on me in this first round, but I don't want to really slip into too many bad habits. I've got no idea, though, what our dry pace is going to be like relative to the others. Whether it's kind of going to allow me to push a little bit more, or, of course, they're going to be able to get closer to the limits, and I am going to struggle a bit. I feel like our pace is decent representative there, as someone has picked up a track limits warning, so that's what we've got to be careful of. You cannot get away with too many of those, as that corner so much easier in the dry, which is always nice there, as we're certainly taking some liberties still with track limits to get to the end of lap 1, but yeah, there's a 3-way scrap for the lead there as well. Our leader just runs a little bit wide, but we are just bringing ourselves to a little bit of safety in P4, and that's PK. I don't know if it's PK. We'll get another warning. Takes so many different lines to try and maximize the time. There's all contact between P2 and P3. I think they will kind of rub elbows with each other. You know, not afraid to potentially trade some paint, which on a motorbike seems like an incredibly irresponsible thing to do. But yeah, maybe in the wet we struggled, but in the dry we seem to actually be pretty quick there as one of the KTM back riders just in front of me. I think that was our pole sitter. He's going to send it back down the inside of P3. And yeah, we're just kind of enjoying the show at the moment. But say, obviously, I will be adjusting the AI early on this game as we're going to muscle him out of the way up into the podium places. Don't say around it. No, not quite around the outside there. That was going to be an audacious move to make in our very first ride. There's even more contact. Yeah, I'm surprised by how stable these bikes are. You know, when we're kind of barging into each other. But, you know, you got to get the elbows out. It is part of the sport. Well, Teese does then. He's a few tenths quicker than me on that last lap. Turn 1 seems to be where we're really strong. Able just to run a little bit wider there is allowing us to get on the throttle just that bit easier. And then we'll use that slipstream to fly up into P2 then of this race. 2 seconds back from our leader. But, yeah, the KTM rider likes to really send it into here. This time around, though, looks like we're far enough ahead. If I'm learning anything about Chang so far, then his new fast lap of the day is that a lot of the corners that were very difficult in the wet are actually quite easy in the dry. It's very much a circuit kind of set up for motorbikes, because a lot of the corners around the back half of the lap are actually completely flat if you get the line right. But we're going quicker than our leader. But not by a huge amount. Come on, trying to make our way through. I mean, yeah, through the higher speed stuff, we absolutely are gaining a bit more time. Lacking still that ultimate precision, as you can see there, going through some of the twistier bits. But surely we can try and get up to soon. Say, maybe, just maybe, I'll start learning names as we spend more time on this game, as more and more drivers. How many warnings are the riders getting so far in this race? I mean, there's been a couple where I thought maybe we should have had one as well. So we try and... I don't know whether the curbs count as well either. Whether it's over the curbing or just over the white line. If it's over the white line, then the curbing is pretty irrelevant there as our leader. A little bit of a mistake out of that final corner as we cross half distance, a 150.3. We are setting some good times at the moment. Let's take a look at the standings. We would be in P7 at the moment. Trying to make our way at turn 1. Are we going to be able to get in the wheel tracks then and try and use the slipstream to help us out down this back straight? We are gaining as someone has been given a drop position penalty. Oh! Thought he was going to try and hold the racing line there, but apparently not. But cleaner on my outside at the top of the hill and very wide through the corner as well. And into the lead we will go then for the first time today. However, he has got a better run on me. Just monitoring that delta on the top left-hand side. And we are through and safe. Now, the goal is just don't fall off before the end. There's more and more track limits warnings coming in. And that is not the line I wanted through there. We'll try not to gain any unfair advantage from it, as that was way too hot into there. Can't gather it up, especially while the rider's wobbling around. And Suze will say thank you. Other riders are likely to fall off as well. It seems like even with a little bit of, you know, rubbing his race in. Oh no, I broke way too late there, have I? No. How on earth is he breaking that late? That's why. Absolutely fired it in. Has he pit? Do you need to pit in this? No, he just completely threw it off the road. And yeah, we are back into the lead then once more. Tell you what as well, these bikes feel way more natural in the dry. You know, you can actually brake and steer. And obviously get on the throttle a whole lot earlier as well. But yeah, we will definitely up the AI for round 2 next time out. Because yeah, obviously clearly, you know, when I do actually get it hooked up, we've got an advantage. And my kind of mantra always with games is I'd rather have it just slightly too difficult than slightly too easy. Simply just because obviously it makes it more entertaining. And, well, if you do well, it feels more rewarding as well. As I think someone's had a crash. I think that might have been Alex. I keep calling him Alex P here. I've got no idea whether that's actually his name or not. But we're rolling with it at the moment. So clearly the other riders can still fall off. But we are just opening up a gap at the front of the field. As Nepper, he does get a warning as well. No idea what position he's in. I'm happy we're a long way ahead. No. No. Oh, damn it. I've fallen off. Come on. We need to get going again. Will we get back on the road before P2? What on earth's going on with the wheel spin? We're still out in front. It's not the end of the world. But suddenly, yeah, our gap from about 5 seconds has been completely eradicated. So, well done, Matt. There we go. Someone has been given a penalty. Someone's been told to serve the long lap. So I don't actually know where. I believe, yeah, that's down around the back of the circuit. But yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of penalties. There's a lot of stewarding going on at the moment. They are not kept. You know, they're given a lot of work to do during the races. But yeah, big potential points coming in for us. That would be handy. As there's 2 points in it in the Riders' Championship at the moment. One more lap to go though. Come on, let's bring it home. Yeah, so I believe that is where the long lap penalty is round here. So one extra thing that I have to learn on many of the tracks on this game, unless of course I, you know, really devote myself on being a clean MotoGP rider. Never picks up penalties or warnings or anything. I would love that to be the case, but I think anyone that's been around this channel will know that is not the case for myself there. But yeah, clearly, of course, you know, this first stage, you know, very much just about obviously learning what the game's like, everything like that. So we will absolutely be upping the AI ready for round 2. But as we round our way through the final couple of corners here, from pretty much the back of the field, it is going to be P1 and victory as long as I don't fall off again. And a lot of pace towards the end of this one. And this is going to be a mighty final lap as well. Almost into the 147s. It is a 147.9. And we are a Moto 3 winner.
Wait for the director to take us to the Parc Fermé to meet today's stars. Let's take a quick look at the final results of this Moto 3 race.
Well, we love it. I thought he was going to give us a proper rundown there, but it is P1 at the end of the Thai Grand Prix. They're ahead of Tatsuki Suzuki, Adrian Fernandez in P3 ahead of Matteo Bertelli and Filippo Farioli. You'd never guess there's a lot of Italians and Spaniards in MotoGP as well, would you? Joshua Watley, our fellow Englishman, there down in 11th with Scott Ogden in 7th place in the NBA. You can see with the fastest laps. Actually, a couple of the guys further down the order setting quicker times than many of our front runners there. Stefano Nepper in P15 in the end as well. What is that going to do to our championship standings? We are in P6 at the moment then, ahead of David Munoz and Stefano as well there. And maybe, just maybe, we can try and get ahead of Jose before the end of the year. I don't quite know how the points are done. I think they're similar to Formula 1. But I could be quite wrong there, as Daniel Holgado has got 1 point over David Alonso heading into the final round of the championship as well. And I just want to check, did I get PK's name right? No, I didn't. That was Paqueras, wasn't it? So Alex PK is actually Angel Paqueras. For that, I apologise, but thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed, And yeah, we'll be back very soon with the finale of Moto 3, where hopefully then we will earn our seat at a bigger team.